Hello and welcome to this video on making your own bourbon. Bourbon is distinct from whiskey because it has a majority of its fermentables derived from corn. Whiskey has a majority of its fermentables derived from barley. This makes bourbon taste distinctly different from whiskey. To make your own, you'll need to begin with a fermentation. A fermentation will require the following equipment: your fermenting vessel, a large mill, preferably a funnel, although if you are handy you can make do without, and a thermometer. You'll also need the following ingredients. You'll need approximately 20 litres of water, 3 kilograms of flaked corn, approximately half a kilogram of rye, and half a kilogram of wheat or barley. We prefer barley, but your preferred choice may vary. A suitable yeast for fermenting a spirit. Once you have all your equipment and ingredients together, you begin by putting your corn through a green mill. This will break it up into smaller parts. To this you add rye and repeat the process. Once they're just about up to the point where you're happy with how much they've been ground down, put them to a side and wait. This is because you now need to grind your barley or wheat separately. Once this is all done, you can begin by adding water to a large pot, approximately 10 litres of water. Bring this to a boil and then turn it off. Wait until it reaches about 65 degrees centigrade. From here, you add your corn and your rye. The other option is to add the corn and rye early on, in a sort of quasi-doughing step, very much like beer making, and then bring the temperature up to 65 degrees centigrade. Since we're talking about corn, rather than the usual barley additions, this may not work as well, and you may simply find it easier to boil the water first and let it cool down. The reason why we are aiming for that magical 65 degrees centigrade number is that we are engaging in a sort of quasi-mashing. We're after those enzymes and the enzymatic action to break down the long chains of starch inside the corn to get at that good sugar inside for yeast fermentation. This is why we need the amylases to work, and both the alpha and beta amylases work at around the 65 degrees centigrade mark. Mash this for about an hour. You then want to look at adding your wheat or barley. The reason why you're adding it now is that this is going to be partially a sugar source but also a flavor source. As it begins to break down, you'll notice that your mash begins to cool as well. This isn't much of a problem, as you want it to cool down anyway. The addition of the extra grains, while not as affected by the enzymes, will still have the necessary effect there. This is because the corn adds a lot more sugar than you would think. Add this to your fermenting vessel. It may be difficult to move it all in one attempt. You may need to use a siphon or the funnel, and be somewhat creative in how you get the still quite warm mash into the fermenter while still keeping the solids in your large pot. Filter paper, cheesecloth, and similar all work if you aren't using something that's going to do this for you. Ideally, at the end of it, you should have something very similar to a mash for beer, but without the hops. As it's cooling down, keep a close eye on it. As it gets towards 30 degrees centigrade, or just under, you need to add your yeast. You're best off making the yeast activated by adding it to a little bit of water with sugar in it. Stir this in to make sure it combines nicely and evenly. You then want to let it continue to cool down to room temperature. The reason you're looking for room temperature is for one very simple but important thing: your first specific gravity reading. It's much easier to convert the specific gravity measurement if the mash and room temperature are the same. You're now left with the waiting game. You'll need to wait between 10 and 14 days, like with most beer and whiskey fermentations, to complete. From here, you can move your fermentation into a copper still. The way you know it's done, if the fermentation is completed before that 10 to 14 day window, is that the airlock will stop showing any bubbles moving through. You'll also be able to take a consistent, specific gravity reading for 2 straight days. You'll need to leave it for a short time after this anyway. This is important to make sure all your solids and yeast sit at the bottom of the fermenter. It's much easier to get out a clear, easily distilled product if you do this. If you don't do it, as we've mentioned with the whiskey video, you'll need to add things like a conditioner to try and prevent a flare-up of the various products within it. This can foul up your distillate very easily and very quickly. Ultimately, at this stage, you probably have something very close to beer. The distinction between this and most other beer is that you're going to have between 8 and 11% alcohol by volume in it. That's considerably more than most standard beers have. Now you have the initial part of bourbon. This is the first thing you need to be aware of. It is the basic ingredient you're going to put into both a pot still and then later a modified pot still for producing bourbon. Remember, with most flavored spirits, it's a multi-stage process, both in making the initial fermentation, but also the distillation. Unlike working with a column still, where you have a single distillation or a continuous distillation, pot distilling often has several different runs that have different purposes. While you're at this initial point, you can consider what else you'd like to change with your bourbon. You may want to look at ordering in either wooden barrels or something like some sort of wood chip. You may want to consider with your next run just what you're going to try and encourage insofar as flavors go. Will you look at adding some sort of malted product? Do you want it to be sweeter or drier? Will you do any number of other things that could modify the recipe here at this point, just as a fermentable, before you look at modifying the final product as a distilled product? Thank you for watching this video. If you have found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please post any comments, questions, or suggestions you might have below.